Yeah, very energetic area. There's lots to do, as you can tell from these pictures. Big nightlife as well. Food and culture. So food in Korea is very different from food you would get in Paris and definitely food you would get here. They're very big, as you can see from these photos, on side dishes. When you order a meal there, you get like 20 small plates of you have no idea what it is. It's potatoes or squash, or it's all delicious. But if you have dietary restrictions, you definitely want to look up certain phrases. I know Kathy was vegetarian, and for a little bit she had some trouble, but she wrote down like I'm vegetarian in Korean, and it was all good from there. But the food's different. Yeah, that's Korean barbecue in the far corner there. They bring you out like a plate of raw meat and you like cook it at your table. It's pretty interesting. They also have a lot of sort of unique customs for dinner parties. One of them is like if anybody's drinking a beverage of any sort, if you finish your drink and you want another one, you have to fill up the cup of the person next to you, which indicates to them, I want more drink now, please. So they have a lot of really interesting food roles, but if you choose to go to Seoul, that's something that we'll talk about a lot more in depth. But the food is definitely interesting, but very delicious. And another video which has no sound, but I'll show you later. Other things to do in Seoul include baseball games are amazing. Even if you don't like sports, you should go. It's a lot of fun. Hiking. I've gone hiking both years I've been there, and it's some of the best hiking I've ever done. Very hot, but incredible. So if you're an outdoorsy type of person, lots of biking, hiking, and parks in Korea. Also, really cool restaurants. The swing one was actually this place where you like eat on a swing and they come serve you. It's in this neighborhood that's very international. What is the name of that neighborhood? I want to call it.
Ask me, I can't remember.
I want to say Roppongi, but that's in Japan.
Yeah.
I can't remember. It's an international neighborhood. It's full of like restaurants from all over the world. And then this other picture in the far upper left-hand corner is a 24-hour Korean spa, which we've done both years as well. And now, your fearless leaders. So I will let Lisa and Mary just speak briefly about their specific courses that they're teaching, just so you get an idea of maybe assignments and what they're thinking about in case you're deciding on a course to take.
FYI, that's actually me in Korea, having tea with Bethany. I'll be teaching ethics, and basically I'll be doing the same thing that I did before, and that is actually we will do quite a bit of it ahead of time. And actually nowhere near as compressed as I made them do it the first time around, which will be an amazing advantage for anybody who takes it. And when we're there, actually what I'll be doing more with you guys is a lot of case studies, so that you can work with the Korean students. It's a really great way to learn about the different perceptions of ethics, depending on cultural backgrounds. And that was one of the things that I know that the Korean students actually really enjoyed, because, we would, I'd kind of bring some of these things up, and either me or the one actually, Simmons students here, there would be like, yeah, that wouldn't work in the United States, or like that, we kind of had very, like, imagine having to put down your parents' name to get your library card. And nobody saw any problem with that, and Laura and I were like, I'm sorry, what? But I will tell you that I will have the readings available well ahead of time and let you know where you can find them, that they will actually all be PDF readings, because I want to make it easy for the Korean students to get it as well. That your final assignment will actually be due generally a week or 2 weeks after we get back, so that you don't have to worry about trying to rush and get something done and turned into me before we fly out on Monday, because quite frankly, I don't want to be grading the last weekend I'm there. Part of what we'll do is, I know at least one of the days we'll do one of the tours, and what we'll do, the classes will generally meet, I think it'll probably be 9:30 to 1 each day, or on the days that we're meeting, not each day. Because we'll do so much ahead of time, I do want to make sure that everybody has time to actually enjoy Seoul. And as much as I love Seoul, I really want you guys all to fall in love with Seoul too. So I want to give you the opportunities to do exactly that, and to get some opportunities to do this. And I'm actually thinking about seeing if we can't do the film archive as part of ethics and talk about the roles of copyright and all of that. That's part of that. that kind of, and what they're trying to do there, because I think that would be an interesting tie-in with all of the ethics things. So again, that's going to be part of it. Those of you who have had me for class know how I speak. You'll be very impressed with me trying to slow down my speech so that everybody can understand me. But the online portion will actually be both, there'll be both written and audiovisual for the online stuff. I do that for a couple of reasons. One, to give, to kind of balance it out, but two, so that the students over in Korea can actually get some sense of how I speak ahead of time. That's kind of it about the class, although I will say that when I went before, I actually did quite a bit with the students. Like, I went to the baseball game. I will be encouraging the baseball game. But I mean, I also, enjoyed going to, that's an Insadong, which is kind of a nice area of Korea where they have tea houses, and that's where the kimchi museum is. Kimchi will be at every meal. Every meal. But I mean, at the same time, I had things that I did with the faculty over there, so it wasn't, kind of always the same thing. But again, I try to balance the workload with also the idea that a good part of what you should be doing is not just learning about LIS, but learning about different cultures and the ideas we're talking about, and just, understand, learning about Korea and a lot of the things that are important there. So go ahead, follow that up.
So pretty much what she said. Same thing, but I mean, I'm anticipating we'll be following very much the same kind of structure in both of the classes. We'll format it pretty much the same. We'll do kind of the same neat things. I can foresee a management trip going to a baseball game because, baseball. But you learn a lot of important rules that way. We'll spin it. It'll sound scholarly. Don't worry. I can always make everything sound scholarly. But again, your last assignment will be after we get back. Everybody's had a chance to sort of rest up and get past your jet lag. We'll start early. We'll put all of that good stuff in advance. I'm really looking forward to it. I mean, I think it is going to be a really exciting adventure. And I mean, something really neat, just the opportunity to be in such a culture that will be so rich and so interesting for us. That's not me in Korea, by the way. Just so you know there. So I'm definitely looking forward to it. It's going to be my first trip, and I think we're going to have a lot of fun. So definitely go to Korea.
And the added bonus is you get me and Mary together,
Which is always exciting. Possibly dangerous, but always exciting.
You will not have a boring time. We will guarantee you that.
I can promise that.
Does anybody have any questions for Mary or Lisa specifically related to their courses before we move on? Anything about Seoul specific before we move on? Cool. Let's move on. Gislis in Paris, yay! So Gislis in Paris, the travel dates will be from July 31st to August the 18th. Again, classes will actually start online July 1st.
Going really far back in time?
2001 apparently cut off the 14. We're going to time travel. It's going to be our first time traveling Gislis program, and you guys are part of it. No. So 14. But again, yeah. July 1st is when the online portion that will make materials available to you online. The courses that are being offered: Visual Communication, Professor Gerald Benoit, and Organization and Management of Corporate Libraries, Professor Jim Matarrazo. All right. Cool. So again, this is the calendar, which looks very similar to the Korea calendar because it's pretty much exactly the same. So we would depart for Paris on the 31st of 2014, but it won't take us as long to get there, and the time difference is more in our favor here, so we leave on Thursday as opposed to the Wednesday. Again, we'll do a welcome dinner on that Friday or Saturday. Same kind of song and dance. Sally's been through it before in Rome, and it was wonderful, right? Yes, it was awesome. So we do a welcome dinner just to sort of relax, see how everybody's doing, get checked into our dorm, meet up, make some plans. And then classes begin on Monday the 4th. So same thing, if you're taking corporate libraries, for example, you will be in class Monday, Wednesday, and Friday on week 1, and Tuesday, Thursday, week 2. If you're taking visual communications, you'll be in class Tuesday, Thursday, week 1, and Monday, Wednesday, Friday, week 2. Both weekends, as you see, are empty. That means it's up to you to sort of figure out what you want to do, where you want to go, but we do talk about this in depth at the welcome dinner and very much prior to that. So if people are looking at like longer distance trips or group trips, we definitely kind of get those conversations going, definitely before we get there. We check in again at the welcome dinner in case people have like, sometimes you get there and you change your mind and decide you want to go somewhere different, and that's okay. So that's the schedule. Again, you're in class 5 days of the 2 weeks that you're there, and usually it'll be from like 9 a.m. until 2 to 3 p.m., 1 p.m. It really depends on if there's a site visit or an excursion. So, the Paris program is also a partnership with St. John's University. Last year, we started a partnership with them, and we took our first trip to Rome, and it was awesome. You can, again, ask Sally. It was great. So we're going to be on their campus, which is in the Saint-Germain district of Paris. Has anyone been to Paris before? Good. I'm glad to see that. Nice. Nice. So it's very centrally located, the campus. And also the campus, they do a very good job in security. You get like ID pass, they have a concierge service, they have a study room, computers, classrooms. The dorms are very clean, very nice. And the staff is always there 24 hours to help you. So we get a lot of support from St. John's when we're there. This is a picture here of Jerry actually hosting his class in the courtyard in Rome. So the Paris campus also has a beautiful courtyard. So if the weather's nice, we're not opposed to holding class outside, being very flexible with what people want to do and adjusting to the weather, as well as taking cultural excursions, site visits, that sort of thing. A lot of them will be related to the course content. So this one was, we went to Castel San Angelo for part of class, and then that picture is the welcome dinner when we first arrived in Rome. So I don't have any happy pictures of students in Paris, because this is the first Paris program we've run. So next year you could be on these pretty pictures if you go. This is the St. John's campus in Paris, in the Saint-Germain district, and it looks absolutely beautiful. If you want to look at more pictures and see more about the facilities very specifically, that's the website, or you can just type in St. John's Paris campus. It's very lovely. And this sort of shows you whereabouts we are. It tells you how far away we are from all of these wonderful places that we will probably visit. And an awesome photo of Notre Dame. So we're definitely going to visit Notre Dame, because you don't go to Paris and not do that. So maybe we'll do a Seine River cruise. That's a lot of fun.
Not maybe. Oh.
We're going to do yeah. I'm going to let Jerry speak in a second, because he's much more articulate about Paris. I've been there, but I was like 15, so that doesn't count. How do you say this? There you go. We're definitely going there. Definitely going to the Louvre. So one thing we did in Rome, which was a lot of picnics. A lot of picnics. As you can see in this picture on here, we did a lot of class picnics, because it's beautiful out. It was a great way to hang outside and get to see a lot of parks. Because in the case of Paris and in Rome, a lot of what you want to see is the museums and like the beautiful outdoors and the gardens. And people hang out. It's like very part of the Parisian culture, as well as in Rome, is people hanging out in parks. And you meet.
Do you pack the picnic lunch so we just have to appear?
I mean, Jerry is very good at packing a picnic. I'll say that. He's very good.
And he doesn't care where he eats. He'll just sit down.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I'll help.
Start drinking.
I mean, yeah, we just sort of like, a lot of these were promptu picnics, and some of them were very specifically planned, but we're going to definitely plan, especially, I'm going to say Luxembourg Garden, because I can't speak French, I'm just going to say that. But we'll definitely do specifically some picnics, and a lot of what we did is like talk about course-related like content while we were having picnics, and I'm not just like making that up, we really did, because a lot, especially visual communications, we ran into a lot of sort of weird like cultural snafus while we were in Rome, and I'm sure it's going to happen in Paris, where really interesting things kind of cropped up, and it's definitely something that was very engaging for us in conversation, both in the classroom as well as in our site visits. Laura last year taught intellectual freedom, and we often would run into issues in like the Vatican of people not wanting to give us access to their library, even though we're librarians. So we found that very bizarre. So those types of things were very interesting, and hopefully we'll have a lot of those kind of bizarre situations occur in Paris. So we're also going to corporate libraries in Paris, and Jim will tell you more about that in a second. These are the 3 tours that we definitely are lining up to visit these 3 corporate libraries.